Hey Cameron, welcome to the Community Living Golf Tournament. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. Then we'll go ahead and put you back in your dress position and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you here in your setup, let's first of all just take a look at your address position. So you've got your spine straight and on a slight tilt. Your legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Your arms sort of hang down in towards you and then your forearms away, and then the club works out to the ball. So we'd like to refine this posture starting position just a little bit. We'd get you to sort of maybe stand just a little taller in your spine, not bend your knees so much, and from there get your arms now to hang down slightly out in front of you and let the golf club work out to the ball. So getting a little bit further away, a little bit taller, and just a little bit more athletic ready where you're sort of into your golf shot a little bit better. Give you a little bit. Right now you just look a little hunched and a little crowded. At this point in time, we can go ahead and also take a look at your alignment. We see your feet aiming out in this direction. Theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet in parallel lines, and camera would have an appearance of converging. So we're definitely set up down the left edge of the fairway towards the left rough. At this point in time, do a little split screen comparison here between you and Brandt Snedeker. Now we got some color-coded lines on the screen to use as a visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. Hopefully you can see with Snedeker here how he is a little taller, and that's what I was sort of talking about, and his feet are more square. As we go ahead and initiate the takeaway, create good shoulder rotation, drawing the arms and hands back as well as the golf club, and we see the club coming back on plane along the red line. From here he's going to transition the club head from being below to above his hands through creating a wrist hinge, and then working the club from red up to yellow. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, the left arm and the club are on the yellow line. We have full shoulder rotation, and we do this about a very stable right leg, keeping the weight on the inside part of the right foot. As we watch you draw the golf club back, you bring your hands back nicely, your shoulders are turning, club's coming back on a good plane. From here we got to start to see some wrist hinge occur, so we got a little bit in there, and by the time we get to the top of the backswing, you've got some pretty decent shoulder rotation, pretty stable right side. You maintain your posture. You don't maximize your wrist hinge, and therefore the backswing gets a little bit condensed. So definitely want to learn how to create better wrist hinge during that backswing, and perhaps a little bit more arm travel to create more club head travel through both the wrist hinge and a little bit more arm movement. Okay. At this point in time, as we create our downswing, simply want to move our weight from our right to our left, drive our knees and our hips to the target, unwind the core and fire the hands, and in doing so we want to make sure that we're bringing the golf club from yellow back down on top of red. And that's exactly what we see here with Brandt Snedeker. The golf club has returned back to being on plane. The other thing we want to point out at this stage of the golf swing is the relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club. I refer to this as a backwards check mark. Simply means the club head is remaining above and behind his hands coming into the golf ball. Therefore, we're retaining angle, and this is going to allow us to create a lot of power in the golf swing, let alone getting the club to return back to plane, as we already pointed out, which is also going to allow us to hit the ball straight. With your downswing, we see an over-the-top move. Your hands get pushed out in front of you. So if we continue to track the club coming into the ball, we're never going to see this club return back to the red line. It's just going to move further and further out in front, and that's going to influence the swing path. So your descending move into the golf ball looked as such, okay? Where Snedeker's club comes into the golf ball and tracks towards it directly from this red line, directly from plane, and again, this is what's going to allow him to hit the ball straight in accordance to his alignment. At this point in time, we can go ahead and take a look at the path of the club. We can see Snedeker's club is inside the ball. It expands out to make contact and then moves through on a nice, natural, subtle arc. Your club is stuck a little bit behind or outside the ball and is dropping down and across to make contact. So at that point in time, if we go ahead and square the club face up to that path, what would happen is we would pull the golf shot a little bit in that direction, and if the club face remains open, it will follow that direction and then continue to sort of create some kind of fading or slicing action. If we were to over-release the club, then we would hit a pull draw or a pull hook, and the ball would go in that direction. And if we time it properly, then we would just hit sort of a little butter fade that would sort of stay on line. Next thing we want to observe is Snedeker's right heel's off the ground at point of impact. Your right heel still flat on the ground, and what we want to learn to do is create proper footwork through to the finishing position, whereby we get up off the heel of the right foot. We can count all the spikes in the shoe. That gets the weight on the left side, and that allows the hips to square around, shoulders to fully rotate. When we're coming through, we can see a little bit of stiff footwork there. You start to get off your right heel, which is good. You just want to continue that activity so you get fully up off the heel, up on the toe, and we want to be able to count the spikes in the shoe. Now in this particular swing, your driver swung down in the ground. One of the things we want to keep in mind with a driver is that, we want to tee the ball up high, get it off the instep of the left foot, let the back sole of the driver rest on the ground to keep the loft on the club. And when we hit a driver, we simply want to create an ascending move. We want to pick the ball off the tee. So tee it up high and learn how to pick it off the tee, and that'll help you hit the ball in the face of the golf club and create a lot of launch angle. You definitely don't want to hit down with a driver. With the irons, that's fine, but not with the woods. Club face looked like it stayed open. Ball, even though you're swinging left, the ball gets blocked out to the right. It will continue to move further right because it likely has left to right spin from the club face being open as well. Okay? Anyways, at any point in time you ever want to work on any of these aspects in your golf game, certainly feel free to contact me. All my contact information is at the end of the video, and be happy to help you out. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all or sit in the committee for any events and you're looking for a unique gift to provide to the participants, certainly feel free to reach out as well. Okay? Anyways, I hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video, and hope you have a great summer.